Hey, let's go. Let's get it. It's almost showtime. Let's go. Let's get it. It's almost go time. Let's freaking go.
That is right, guys. We are going to go and get it on this a beautiful Thursday after Thanksgiving, the 1st of December, and the last first of 2025 in December. Say what? Anyway, I am here, your host of the Bright Side Chronicles. My co-host will be joining us as soon as he wraps up what he is doing at work to make that bread and have a conversation. And for anybody who doesn't know, Nana and I started the Brightside Chronicles as a way to extend positive energy into the world. The way I see it is we are infested with negative energy and narratives. And so if we can have conversations around joy and how tapping into joy is actually a higher vibration and give people, stories around people tapping into joy, then we believe, and I feel very strongly that we are making a positive impact and allowing people to show up for themselves and chasing after that joy. And so today I am super, super excited to have Jesus with us. Jesus is a cosplayer and a voice actor who happens to have joined the cons with Nana and has already been on our show, which is super cool. But I was not able to attend. So I get to dig in deep with Jesus and learn all about what brings him joy and how he impacts the world at large positively. So I'm super pumped and honored you're here, Jesus. Let's dig in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here too.
Yeah, so okay, let's just jump right in. You and I were talking offline, and you were telling me that you are going to college for broadcasting and something else as a means to become a voice actor. So that's your goal?
Yes, my end goal would be to become a voice actor, like professionally.
Yeah.
That's what I really hope for. That's what I really want to do. And
I Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say that's what that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I aspire to do.
So how is it you got into being interested in voice acting? I don't know that is something that I definitely know I wouldn't have even had on my radar as a kid as being a profession I could pursue.
Okay, so it does go back to when I was in high school. So about my junior year in high school, I remember I had a group of friends with me, and I like to do voice impressions. And me and my friends would always have fun. We joke around, and it got to the point where it's like I was like, "This is a lot of fun." I really love doing like voices and impressions. And then I came across the idea, "Hey, what if I became a voice actor?" And then like that idea stuck with me for a few like weeks, a few months. And then by the time my senior year came around, I was like, "Okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue, and this is what makes me happy. It's what brings me joy, and it it brings me like it sets a purpose for me, like how cosplay does. Cosplay is a big thing for me, and it gives me a lot of purpose. And voice acting is like right there on par with it, if not a little higher, because of how much I love doing it. And since then,
So
sorry.
uh,
Yeah.
no,
Okay,
no,
so
no, go ahead.
after I'm just gonna say a little bit, but after I graduated high school, I bought myself a microphone, and I immediately got started. I still live with my parents, and I lived with my parents, and my father actually helped me create my own little studio in our house. And so I used to go there, I do voices, I do impressions, and I just continue on from there. But then we moved on, and I am now in a what's it called? A walk-in closet. That's actually where I am right now. And the soundproofing in here is really amazing. And it gets me to do my voice acting a lot cleaner, it's a lot sharper, and it's a lot more professional than what it was before. So it makes me really happy.
I love that. So there's so many things I want to unpack here. So first off, before we dig into the voice acting and you chasing that goal of yours, cosplay. How did you get inspired to do cosplay and what does it bring to you? So you said it feeds your soul essentially, right? Like what How does it give you purpose?
So for cosplay, it's that I started that when I was in middle school. It was my last year of middle school. My middle school always did these costume like Halloween nights and costume competition at the same night. And when that would happen, I showed up the year prior dressed as Ant-Man, which is really nice. But it wasn't great. It was really what's it called? Like a very like Halloween store Ant-Man. And
Yep.
so the year after, I wanted to go even further. So I found this website where they sold cosplays, and I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting. This looks really fun." I got myself a cosplay. It was like around $300 or $400, and after
Wow, it's an
yeah, and
investment,
after I
huh?
got it, everyone loved it. A lot of people loved it. I won the competition, and it was just like a really big boost of ego. And ever since then, I didn't stop because that happened my last year of middle school, and last year of middle school, that's when COVID hit. So when COVID
Yep.
hit, I was like I was always at home. I didn't know what to do, so I just bought more cosplays. Like I got like a few Spider-Man onesies. I got like a few like anime cosplays that I didn't really do much, and I just kept going on from there. And I made it a full-time hobby of mine, and now I love it. I'm going to cons too, which is a lot of fun, and I'm just enjoying my life.
So with the cosplays, did you just like show up at regular events or like regular, I don't know, going out with your friends in a character, or did you specifically dress up for situations or I don't know, school
It was
things?
originally just like basic events. Like I went dressed as Spider-Man to my friend's birthday for fun.
I love
I
that.
went dressed as Spider-Man again when Spider-Man No Way Home came out. But ever since then, I kind of got into the whole thing of doing it for fun. I went to a carnival dressed as Deadpool, and I got a lot of photos with a lot of people, including like a few police officers, EMT, firefighters. They all loved it, and they all wanted photos, and it was a really great experience. And I've just been cosplaying like a lot more ever since, trying to put myself out there, like grow my social media page, and just have a lot of fun the entire time.
So I'm curious, have you always had a level of self-confidence to do that? Because I think in this day and age, particularly in the work that I do, people struggle to show up and do what feels right for them because it typically our passions contradict what society deems as quote unquote acceptable or normal.
Um, yeah. So funny enough, I'm not really confident in myself like every other day. However, when I'm in cosplay, like it's like a switch that flips in my brain,
Yep.
and I grow a sense of confidence I've never had before. I go talking to people. I'm more active. I'm more like attentive, and I just get like a lot more like outgoing, or how is it like they're like extroverted. I get more extroverted when I'm
Yep.
in cosplay, and it's just a
Yep.
whole thing that just like boosts me entirely, like from the start to finish. It's always a fun time.
I absolutely love that. So I that makes me think of Beyonce, right? And in the beginning of her professional career, she did struggle somewhat with confidence, and so she created this alter ego, Sasha Fierce, right? And so she would, when it was time to perform, it was almost like she would switch into this alter ego to be able to go on stage. And then over time, and she talks about this, it's kind of like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce blended together. So they were able to, become one confident, unique person, having first learned how to step into that confidence in a character that merged into all areas of their life.
What up?
I
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All
Oh, we
right.
can hear you.
Yo, I was like, man, I gotta be here for this, especially if Jesus is gonna be on here, and obviously yourself, babe. But how y'all doing?
We doing good. We talking about
Yeah.
Jesus stepping into confidence as he dresses in characters, going out into carnivals and
Yes.
going to it. friend's birthday and things of that
Yes,
nature.
yo. And I saw that because I saw that recently you, Lou, and T
Yes.
met up, right?
Yes, that's true. We me, Lou, and I'm sorry,
Terrence?
Terrence. Yes, thank you.
Terrence, yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew C. Yes, Andrew C.
We went into the city. We went into Manhattan, and I don't remember where exactly, but we found a spot. We took a bunch of photos. We made a few skits. It was a lot of fun, and it was just an all around great experience. And it was genuinely just so much fun to do.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
because the funny thing is, originally I was not supposed to go there because me and my friends thought it'd be funny to go to Manhattan on Black Friday to see how hectic it could get. But but then we scratched that plan because two of my friends canceled, so we were like, all right, let's just go the next day.
Yeah.
We went the next day, and before we go, I see a message. No, I see a post on Lou's story that says, "Hey, we're going to be in the city. Does any like DBZ cosplayers or DBC photographers want to join? We can go, show up, have fun, take a few photos, do some skits." And I saw that. I was like, "Absolutely, I'd love to go." So we talked, we connected, and next thing I know, I was dressed up as Future Trunks, and we went to the city, and it was a lot of fun. We had so much fun. It was such a great experience. It felt like being at a con again, but just like not with the crowded people and the smell of popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the small popcorn is hilarious. But the thing is, like, I love that you guys met up because that's a bonding. I think people realize, like, or don't realize that, like, you can do con shit outside of con. Like, you can hang out with people and just be genuinely good people. Like, I've had friends that came out here from cons that came to, like, a birthday event, you know what I mean? Or, like,
Oh, nice.
just, like, certain things. But it just shows that, like, you don't always, it doesn't only have to be just in that space only. You can do random stuff. I always tell people, I'm like, wear whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, I wear my cosplays to the gym. Like, I've been doing this thing where every Sunday I just dress up in characters. As Kerri can attest, I've done a couple of them. So like this Sunday, I might be doing legs. I might show up as Chun-Li. You know what I mean? If it makes sense, if I'm doing legs, it makes sense to do little Chun-Li. So we'll see. But it's just one of those things where you don't always have to limit yourself to just the bonds at a con. It's like the bonds only flourish after the con. The con basically engages it, and then you just basically tap into, oh, like what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
which goes back to things you do for joy. You know what I mean? But I was running a little late. I was busy at work because your boy was locked in today. So I ended up getting 3 out, babe. Well, 3 for now. And then the fourth one is probably gonna be a tomorrow thing. It just went over numbers and he wants to think it over, which is fine. So like I had a productive day today, so I was really, really grateful for it. And I was looking forward to this. So I was like, I can't miss this. There's no way I can miss this at all. But
Well, so I actually want to touch upon both what you just shared, babes, and you, Jesus. Is it's preparation meets opportunity, and I think this is where stepping into joy. People limit their joy because they have unexpected opportunities. Like somebody posts something, and you're like, "Yo, I'm down," and we're like, "Oh, nah, I really don't know that guy that well," or for Nana. Right. Last month, he didn't hit his no less for 20. So he could have walked into this week having some type of feels about it. But instead, it's okay. I'm going to show up, let all of the past go, and just do what I can do. And then, thus, you got to achieve a goal that a lot of people don't achieve in the car sales industry, selling 3 cars a day. So it is, I believe investing in yourself by taking advantage of opportunities that present to you, for sure.
And I love that you bring the opportunity part too. And not to cut you off, Jesus, but what I was gonna say is the person that I ended up selling the car to actually was referred to me, and this is by coincidence, right? So what it was is that it was my team leader's appointment, and I was like, hey, there's somebody that called on this car. I'm just gonna pull it up, and not knowing that even it was his appointment, it just by coincidence or whatever it is, the person that came in looking for that car also happened to be a referral from Danielle. So shout out to Danielle Spring, who's my sister. She literally was like, yo, like if you go there, ask for Nana. And literally, like I hadn't met the family before. I knew the dad because I've seen him when he worked with Danielle years back. But like this is like 2016, almost 17. So it was just one of those things where it was almost like a synergy of like okay, this car was meant to be pulled up. This person was meant to be like just show up just randomly, just. And I don't even work on Thursdays like that. I'm not scheduled on Thursdays, so it just was like, oh shoot, like this person came in looking for me. Like that's cool stuff that it worked out like that, you know.
But I also, again, like even going back to what Jesus was saying, you guys purposefully make choices that keep you in joy and thus open you up to have experiences that feel good. So it's really important, for me anyway, to highlight to the community that it is the choices that you make that set you up to have that success. But I do want to circle back to the fact that Jesus, not only have you really enjoyed cosplaying and really stepping into different characters that help you build confidence, but in high school, you came to the realization that you wanted to do voice acting, which I said offline, that's not something that people might think on their radar is a profession that they could seek after. So how is it you came to the confidence or ability to go after something that you're passionate about, that some people might say, oh, that's not a profession, you should do something in the corporate world?
When it comes to voice acting, it's more of it's like the phrase, if you don't fight for something, you never really wanted it in the first place.
Ooh.
So
Damn.
I took my skills and I took what I knew and what I was interested in, and I put that everything in like in a metaphorical box into consideration, and I looked at it and I thought to myself, voice acting is the one thing that brings me the most joy. It's the one thing that brings me the most like passion, and it's something that I believe I'm really good in because for now, in May it'll be, I believe May 16th will be my second year being a full like doing voice acting. Not full time, but doing it because I started in May of 2024. No, 2020. Yeah, 2024. In 2024, I started voice acting, and funny enough, that story was I met this one person online who created like their own content, and they did like their own videos, but they were an artist. And one day they wanted to create a production studio, and they had their own personal story that they'd wanted to share and like make. And so I talked to them and they told me about it. And I said, oh, that's awesome. And then they asked me, by the way, her name is Avery. So shout out to Avery.
Shout out to
You're awesome.
Avery.
You're awesome. You're awesome. That was the first time I ever did voice acting. And I auditioned for 3 separate characters in her project. And funny enough, I got 2 of the characters in that project. And that was my first ever time auditioning, first ever time being of like doing actual voice acting. And after that, I had so much fun. I didn't know where to go from there. I was lost. I was stuck, but I was really happy because I finally got my first step into the voice acting world and into the voice acting career. So fast forward into September 2024. Yeah. It was that same year, September 2024 or August, I don't remember. But I found this. I was searching for ways to pursue this career, and I found master classes. And then I came across this one where it was run by 2 voice actors, and they were having like it wasn't like, it was like a free like show of like what they'll do, what they'll teach you, what you're gonna learn. And so I was like, okay, I'll go to this and I'll see what it's about. So I signed up, I showed up at their Zoom meeting, and I watched their full presentation. And by the end of it, I was mesmerized. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what I've been searching for. Because before in high school, before I graduated, I was like looking for different colleges that would like be like, oh, we have like something that can get you like a voice acting degree. But that doesn't exist.
Which is weird, because you would think that there's so many voice actors in this world that like you would think that would be a field of occupation.
Yeah, but it's not really like something that they'll teach you in college. They'll teach you acting in college. There's
Right.
acting colleges, like acting classes.
Theater.
Voice acting is more of a unique, separate field that it doesn't have like its own degree or its own stuff like that. So after I learned that, I joined it and it changed my life. I met these amazing people. I met the amazing groups I was a part in. I did voice acting a lot more, and I learned of this one website called Casting Call Club, which I'm on currently, and that's if you know the website, you could. I didn't put my link, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if you search up my name, I'll probably show up. I've auditioned for multiple people, multiple characters, and funny enough, when I first joined, I was very nervous, and well, that's okay because something I also learned in this field, we are like voice actors are their own worst critics, and
People are
Correct,
their own
correct.
worst critics.
yeah,
Just saying, but
because the
yeah.
thing is, I was always very like I always said I love doing voice acting, I love doing impressions, so I finally got into it. I said I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm bad. And then I talked to my friends. They're like, dude, what are you talking about? You're good. You're great. You got it. You got the voice. You got the passion. Then like you know what you're going to do. And so I just went with it. And lucky enough, I've gotten multiple like unpaid jobs for voice acting. I was in a video game mod, which was really fun.
What?
Yeah,
Nah,
that was a while back. I got this is a canceled project, but I got the main character of a project, which was a lot of fun. And I've gotten like smaller roles, smaller auditions, but it's still like a boost and it's still there to like to say, hey, this guy can do voice acting, this
Right.
guy can do this, he can do
Correct.
this, he can do this. And
Well,
now I'm continuing to pursue that passion, which
so
is actually what I'm working on right now.
and I love that you bring that up because we actually, when Kerri and I were at Anime New Jersey, we met the voice actor for Madara Uchiha,
Oh, that's
Leo
awesome.
Kaplan. I didn't think about it because I was going there with the intent to promote the con itself. You know what I mean? And Kerri being my support system was with me being my personal photographer bitch, as she calls herself, which is wild.
AKA the picture bitch.
And so like
That's so
we
sad.
got to meet the voice actor and he was talking about how he uses his voice to like project it in certain characters, right? So he's also the voice actor for if you've seen Bleach, he's Yamato, old man Yamato. He's like the head person in Bleach. And so like he has all these even Optimus rumors like this vocal and it's impressive that and how he's like very low like he's like, and I was like, yo, that is cool. Like, as how to see. I don't know most about what's happening. Remember when you went to con, you showed up randomly out of nowhere. Practice class over there too. So it's just cool. There's people in the element, and him talking about how he goes about it is what I want to bring up.
Well, so something that Jesus and I talked about offline, which I'm going to dig into, is right now you're going to school for broadcasting, but it doesn't really align with the goal you have in voice acting. And so you're considering, focusing on lived experience, practicing voice acting rather than getting a degree in a field that may not meet the needs that you are currently seeking in order to gain experience. And something I shared with Jesus is I'm a huge believer of lived experience. I think if you have passion, and Jesus, something I love that you said is you're taking on gigs that are free. For the first 2 years of my business, I coached people for free because I wanted to make sure that I, being a service industry person, had a quality product to offer people, obviously supporting them with the information and wisdom that I've acquired through my own journey, but also that I had the ability to really grow and expand into what my passion was. And it's not always easy. And so for you, you're continuing to put yourself out there in these auditions and stuff. How do you deal with rejection and still stay positive to chase that passion?
Honestly, it's I think for me personally, it's just something that comes naturally because I've gotten a lot of rejections like from like a lot of people who've like found different talent or found someone else who do it
Mm,
like differently how they wanted them to do it. And it just gets me thinking, if other people can do it, then I mean I can too. And if they don't see that in me, then that just means I got to work harder for what I want to do. Voice acting has been like a big thing for me. It's really opened my vocal cords quite literally to be able to
mm,
do new voices, do new impressions, and do new things
yeah,
that I can just like open my mind to, expand my mind to. And because of I see a lot of auditions, I see a lot of like like opportunities, and
yeah.
I like something I have done that's not really the greatest is I look at the ones I'm interested in when really
Oh,
but the thing is it's best to not make that choice and go for all the ones I can possibly do
just get out that
because
comfort zone.
because not only yeah like you just said, get out your comfort zone, but not only
Yep.
that, I need to explore other opportunities in this field because
Okay.
just doing character voices and just doing like certain voices, that's not going to get me anywhere. What would get
Mm-hmm.
me places is opening my like I guess horizons
Yeah.
into different like voices, into different like what's it called, like impersonations.
It makes you more versatile if you think about it. It's so it's
Exactly,
like
thank you.
you can literally like tap into whatever character that or role, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like it's with anything, you know, the people that can speak numerous languages are gonna have more opportunity versus somebody that only speaks one language per se, right? So perfect example, I work at a dealer. If a Spanish speaker comes in there, I speak barely no Spanish. So like I don't have that like if the person says "Cómo estás?" I'll be like "Muy bien," too, and that's about it. That's I'm like the Family Guy, but he only knows like one thing, and that's it. And then so like for my coworkers, i.e., whoever it is, whether it's like Wilson or you know whoever is at the door, they'll have more opportunity because the person feels more comfortable with that. You know what I mean? I'm of Ghanaian culture. Our second language is English, so I really still don't have more leverage if you think about it in that aspect. So like it shows the more versatile you are, the more opportunities will up with anything if you think about it too.
Yeah.
Well, also think about this. One of my favorite actors, you very well know, is Denzel Washington.
Yes,
Right?
the
And
goat,
there's two
the
things
goat.
that I love. One, he said, I never understood having a plan B. And I totally wholeheartedly agree.
Mm.
So often we unintentionally set ourselves up for failure because we're like, oh, I'm really passionate about voice acting, but let me just have the broadcasting in the background just in case. But really, what we're telling our subconscious is we don't believe we can achieve the plan A. And so he was going to do whatever it took. And also, he took on many roles. So, for the most part, I love a lot of his movies. Not, and
Mm-hmm.
I just watched a movie that I hated so much. I'm like, what is this man doing? But going to what you were saying, Jesus, when you open yourself up to possibilities that you might not exactly love, but gives you an opportunity to stretch and grow, then it puts you in a position to have a skill set that is more transferable than somebody who can only
Mm-hmm.
do a certain amount of voices.
Yeah.
And that's interesting too because doing voice acting with all the people I've met, I've done multiple like projects with different people I know. And just recently I did this one voice acting like it's not really anything official. It's more like my friend creates a story and we voice over it. And
Huh.
and so we did that, and we did like 4 or 5 different takes, and after doing those takes, it was a genuinely fun experience because we went into it like in mind, okay, these are the voices we're going to do. I wanted to go for a more deeper like gruff range, like gruff voice for it, and I went for it and it worked. And then at one point it was like mid session, we were just like, oh, she's like, okay, how low can your voice get? and that's something I wondered too. So we were there for like 4 minutes, I think at most, and I got into this tone, which was a lot different from every single voice I've ever done voice acting,
Yeah.
and it worked so well. It was so much fun, and I had like a lot of fun doing it because it was basically out of my range, but I managed to be able to do it. And that's impressive because like it's really for voice acting when it comes to finding new voices, it's really just trial and error. Because funny enough, when we were at Kineticon, I went to this one panel
Yep.
where this one guy who was a voice actor like was selling people information, and something I remember he said, he was like, just mess with your voice and have fun, because if you don't, because like that's the way you can find all these different voices you never knew you had, because like you can just like add rasp and a deep voice, put it together, and then you got a completely new voice. Add a high pitched voice and a little bit of a twitch, and you might have a new voice, a new character, a completely new area where you can get more jobs and more like characters. And it's like that's really, it's really nice. It's really amazing, because something I've always said, voice acting is an art, and this is my art. I'm not the best at drawing, I'm not the best at sketches, but I can do voice acting. I know I can do voice acting because I'm able to.
What I was gonna, not to cut you off, is what I was gonna say is, so if you were to, i.e., say like somebody's like, hey, I would pay you this much to voice act versus like a career in broadcasting, right? Say you got a career lined up in broadcasting, whatever money is, whatever it is, but something, I want you to play this one role for the rest of your life. Which one are you choosing in that aspect of it? I know I'm playing devil's advocate here. I just want to know.
I'm gonna be honest. I would choose the voice acting, and I got two reasons for it. First reason, it's going to be because when it comes to voice acting, like if I can get paid to do work, then I'm already in the right direction, because I'm not getting paid right now. Right now, I'm not getting paid, and I can do quite a bit. So if I can get to the point where I'm getting paid, then I'm headed in the very.
When you get to the point that you get paid.
Yeah.
When
when I get to that point, that's when I know I've been doing everything right since like I've been practicing. Correct. And the second reason, because I said I have two reasons, that's the first one, is because of this book, and it's because of college, which I'm actually pretty grateful for. And there's this book called The Cafe at the End of the World.
Okay.
And it's by the author is a man named John Strzelecki, and at one point in the book, the characters in the book mentioned this thing called a PFE, which stands for purpose for existing. Ooh. And they're like, so many people live life not fulfilling their PFE. And something the book showed me, these people would get their jobs and they'd be making so much money that they don't know what to do with it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, they're not fulfilled. They're not doing what makes them happy. They're just doing what puts like bills, puts money in their account. And it really got me thinking. It kind of got me thinking about college too, because I'm going to college, but I'm not fulfilling voice acting. Instead, I'm going to be getting a job. Like if I were to like just full on go to college, get a degree, get out, and then get a job, it's not voice acting. So it's not that personally, like, and that's okay, because like people want to do that and people don't want to do that. Yeah. And if I don't fulfill my PFE, then I'm kind of wasting my talent and pushing away the things that actually mean something to me. Because it's all really just, if you want to do something and you know you can do it, then you'll go do it.
Correct.
But if you don't really want it as much as you really think you do.
See, I have to
Ooh.
argue with you a little bit, Jesus. I
Yeah.
have a little bit of a different perspective. And also, it bears mentioning I probably am 20 years older than you. So, you know what I'm saying? I got a little bit of age. But I think the reality is from what I hear, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a fairly good support system. Your father helped you make a studio. You have friends who show up and support you and really encourage you. And I think a lot of times when we grow up in situations where we are conditioned, for everybody out there, right? We're conditioned to have a certain set of beliefs. If we don't have anybody to push us outside to examine a different belief, then we literally don't know any better. We're unconscious. We just believe that we have to go do the 9 to 5, that we have to get the house, the paper, whatever. But it also it speaks to why Nana and I have this show, because even the most unconscious person, a person who's just operating from what they know, if they start to give themselves permission to experience more joy, well, then what happens is they start to discover their, what is it, PFE or whatever?
Purpose for living. I mean,
Purpose for existing.
Exactly. And it gives them the ability to even potentially dream outside of what they know. So that's just something I want to highlight, because I get it. But I mean, for me, I had to create my own support system because I didn't have that. And really, it was because it had come hell or high water. Nobody was going to tell me how I was going to live my life. I was like, no. I'll make it messy, but you ain't telling me what I can and cannot do. So, but I do love that book. I'm gonna have to check it out, because I'm always looking for books to encourage people to read. And I do believe that we all have a unique gift that is locked within inside of us, that, you know how you know you're in your gift? When it brings you so much joy.
Yep.
When you would just, like, to Nana's point, right? Both of us get so excited for Thursday because we love to talk, we love to meet people, stories.
Yes.
And so that fulfills my soul and it brings me joy. And in that joy, I am attracting more joyful experiences because we're magnets. And so that's a huge gift that you, Jesus, are giving to the world, and saying, okay, I can go the traditional college route, but it's not bringing me joy. And what do I need to do in order to stay in joy? Because at the end of my lifetime, I want to look back and be fulfilled rather than have all the paper. Because look, we have artists, we have musicians, we have all these people who are millionaires and miserable.
Well, you know, I love that you bring that up, because even like the whole purpose for existing, I love that because it gives you something to look forward to, right? So, like, I don't know. I think my purpose for existing is being of service to people, whether it's helping people buy cars, helping family, making sure that things are good at home, being a great support system to my significant other and our daughters. You know what I mean? So, like, that's like the gratitude of service, whether I'm going to a homeless shelter to go pass out food to whatever it is, or going to a local high school to go talk about what I do for work and stuff. That's always the thing that will always refill my cup. Or at a con and just shooting the shit with people and creating memories. Like, you know, I eat with Lou and, you know, Liam and all the squad, Dana and everyone. Like, it's just that purpose for existing is a huge. I don't think a lot of people ever get to that point that they realize what my purpose for existing, because a lot of people tend to just, I want to survive. Where if your purpose for existing, you're like, I want to thrive. I don't want to just survive. I want to actually literally just live my life to the fullest and live, you know, as Kerri would say, like, what is it?
Fully expressed.
Fully expressed and authentic. You know what I mean? So at that point, you just become this like a version of yourself that most people don't get to see unless they get to that point of thinking when it comes down to it, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I love that. The thing is so interestingly enough, my question to you, Jesus, is I think from what I have experienced and bore witness to in my 45 years of life is to chase our passion, it requires resilience. It's honestly like, it's like you got to prove that you're willing to ride this out when all circumstances and conditions are not in your favor. And you're not getting paid for the gigs, but you're still doing it. So how do you cultivate that resilience mindset when you're facing setbacks, and you might potentially, moving forward, should you choose not to go back to college, have to overcome these hurdles to maintain and really be able to fund your purposeful living?
The way I like to see it is, when I do these free gigs, I don't call them free gigs. I don't think these are free. These are opportunities that are building my personal portfolio as a voice actor.
Yes.
And because it's not like I'm doing these for free and then I go home and it's done. Like, I just go back to my bed, I lay down, I go to sleep, the next day happens and all of it's over. No, because after I do these gigs, even though I don't get paid for them, at the end of the day, I did those and they're uploaded for everybody in the world to see and to hear.
Yeah.
And if that's there, then that's already building my name into the voice acting industry. Because what I've been told is I'm already a voice actor. I am a voice actor now. I am doing work. I'm doing voices. I can do voices. I have done voices, and it's brought me like a lot of support and like work. Like, even though it's not paid work, it's still building who I want to be. It's still building that up, because how I like to see a lot of people start from zero. A majority of people start from zero. So doing these free gigs, it's building me up. So I don't have to just be like, one day, like, I'm just doing voice acting. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't have anything. That's not true. I have the experience. I have the voice, and I got the motivation to do it. And that's all that I really need.
And the confidence.
Yes. And I love that. So the funny thing is, literally today I was at work and I looked at the resilient, because Kerri and I were talking about it. What was it, last night, babe, on the phone?
Yep.
And how I was saying that, like that's one of my favorite words. So I looked up the resilience describes something that is capable of recovering quickly from difficulties or materials that can spring back into shape after being bent and stretched. In psychological sense, it refers to the ability to adapt to stress and adversity, while in physical sense, it can refer to the body's ability to recover from illness or injury, which I love the idea of, like, the definition of resilience. It's like, it's so, it just sticks to me, because I see that with, like, what I do for work. If I have like a off day, how do you bounce back and be like, okay, let me go back here and do the same thing that I did, or try to do the same thing and try to get a better outcome of it. Like, that's the thing, is like the resilient part. And I always thought about it, I'm like, that word always plays in my thought process. Every time I'm like having like a challenging moment, I'm like, okay, well, how do we get back into this groove of things despite all this happening? Like, I've been dealing with this lady that we've been trying to get her car ready for the week, basically. And it's just one thing after another with the bank. And I'm just like, we just got to put out good energy. We just got to keep putting out good energy. Eventually, it just got to like get to a point where they just got to just do the best that they can to get everything situated. But like, the whole being resilient part is just understanding that it's going to have to eventually give into it to work towards our way. You bend your will to that. You just keep putting it out there. That's what some people don't normally see, but like, to a person that's more open to the ideology of it, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
It has to. And I want to jump in because this is in my wheelhouse.
Yes, good.
So, resilience is continuing to do the thing over and over with the absence of results, knowing that at some point, and also understanding from an energetic standpoint, quantum physics, right? There's the law of polarity. So there's always opposites, and we're never stagnant. So if energetically that it can't always stay this way. This is why even for people out here, when you're having an emotion, just say you're having a visceral response to grief, it can only last so long, and it has to naturally energetically shift, because that's just the way energy works, right? And knowing that. But also, resilience is cultivated in joy. So resilience is doing things to purposefully bring you joy in spite of the fact that situations aren't seemingly working out in your favor. So for example, Nana, you may have a rough couple days at work or whatever, but you make sure you go to the gym. You still make sure you tap into cosplay. You surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than hyper focus on what isn't working out. And that's a really important skill set to have, because as you tap into joy, right, things start to open up and it feels easier to get the results that you're looking for. And then lastly, I want to highlight, I totally agree with you, Jesus, right? As I said, I supported people for 2 years, and it wasn't that I was giving it away for free. In fact, I was getting testimonials, and I was honing my own craft and showing up in service for people and really digging into what worked for individuals and recognizing what didn't work. And so you're right, it's 100%. And again, taking advantage of opportunities. Nana, he takes advantage of photographers being willing to photograph him at cons that he can use in his portfolio for work. He takes advantage of having friends who are willing to do athletic shoots for him so that he can add that to his portfolio. And in doing so, he's creating, right, this whole package of products through just taking advantage of opportunities, which is a huge thing if you want to be successful in any endeavor, is doing what you love and taking advantage of opportunities.
But also, and before I give it back to Jesus, is also you're promoting your friends or whoever it is. Like, I met Steven, who's a really great photographer, at what it was PAX East in Boston. He took a picture of me in my Chun-Li outfit, cool as hell, and I was like, yo, you're good people's, like, and then like he saw me at Anime NYC and he's like, oh shoot, you're here. I was like, yeah, and like little by little we formed this bond, and he's like one of my go-to, or even my friend Nate that does photography, both Nates actually that do photography.
Fire.
Yeah, I've met one of them.
It's different styles, you know what I mean? Like it's like you become friends with people that, and it's not to use them, it's almost like a barter system. Like,
it is 100%.
So like they want pictures, and I'm grateful to get pictures with them. And to me, it's promoting them as well as myself, in a sense of like, it's not all about me. It's how do I keep expanding? And the perfect example is I had my friends Becky, Alex, Ashley. They came out to New York Comic Con, had a great time. But my thought process was like, how can I get my friends into spaces that they hadn't been to? So like seeing them, they actually end up being on magazines recently too, which was like fucking amazing. I was like, yeah, I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a cool moment to support my friends. You know what I mean? Like seeing them in a magazine, I was like, that's cool shit. Like I never had that happen, but I was like, they deserve it because they came in and they enjoyed themselves and they had a great experience, and they'll come back next year and so on and so forth. But that wouldn't have happened had they not met the photographers or met the bonds that we've all created from over time with these, you know, moments that we've been at cons and stuff like that too. You know?
Yep.
But
I love it. So, Jesus, voice acting. So, is there a specific character that's like your absolute favorite?
A character? Character. I don't have any unique characters, really, because I voice acted for characters that already exist. So I've done those voices.
Is there one that you like better than others?
I feel like I know who it is.
One of my favorites is actually a unique go-to voice I personally created. And the voice, it's a bit simple when it comes to voice acting, but the voice is me talking like this. It's the basics. It's like some of the first things you learn. And it's just a little bit of gruffness and a little bit of a lower tone. And I can move it around. And it can go up. It can go up. And it can go very low. and it's something I learned to do a while back.
Bro, wait,
and
hold on. You just did like 3 different voices in one like take.
funny enough, that's actually one of the things I learned. It's just that's just one voice, just changing the pitch. It's this voice. This is the basic voice. And it's the same voice up here. It's just a little bit higher. It's the same voice down here, just a little bit lower.
Yo, that's
the beauty of voice acting. It's an art that I can create naturally, and I love it so much. And yeah, I'm going to take a quick photo of something real quick to show you all.
Yo, nah, that's
while you do that, what I would say, something that I want to touch upon earlier, and you highlighted again, is it's play. You don't take yourself seriously, and we limit ourselves because we're so afraid of what people are going to say. But when you allow yourself to just be creative, that's where the magic is. That's where your confidence builds. That's where resilience builds, and that's where your ability to co-create with others unfolds and makes manifest in the physical experience.
Yeah.
What's
the thing? Sorry, but the thing I wanted to share. So when I first started, I started with just a basic microphone that connected to my laptop, and the way I know I've grown a lot is with this right here. I don't know if you can see very well, but that is my current setup for voice acting. It's a microphone surrounded by foam and a little machine right here, which is called I don't remember what it's called. But it's a machine that's used it can change my voice. It can change like how much I can hear on my headphones. My headphones are connected to this, and my microphone is connected to that rather than it being connected to my computer. It's a machine that inputs all my voice into this microphone, allowing it to do like anything, because I can change it so my voice can be very loud or so my voice can be a lot lower. Yeah, that's what this machine is for. And when I first started, I didn't have any of that. I just had a basic microphone that connected to my laptop. Until I learned what I needed, I saved up my money, I bought the things I wanted, and I invested in my passion and in my future career.
Yes.
And that's what I'm very happy about, because if back in high school, I believe high school is when I bought my first microphone, and it didn't really get me far. It's actually how I did my first ever voice acting opportunity, again, to Avery, the person that gave me my first ever voice acting opportunity.
Yes.
And then I got this. I got all the I got all the foam. I got all the like the right electronics, the right website, and everything just built up from there. And that's how I know I'm growing as a voice actor, because before I had none of this, and now look at what I have now. That photo I just showed you, that's what I have now. And that goes to show I know what I want to do, because I'm already investing in everything I want to do now. And I'm I couldn't be happier doing what I'm doing now. Well, this is my passion.
That's the thing, is like, even Kerri can attest with the cosplaying thing. I had, babe, what was like the first cosplays that I had?
Dora
the Explorer, SpongeBob, and then Mouse.
Mickey, yeah.
Yeah, but then I had like Under Armour stuff that I would just get because I'd worked out, and it just became into like a just little by little, I'm just putting all these characters together, and I'm like, oh, what about this character? Oh, and then I got Goku, and so now like my closet went from like maybe like 2 or 3 cosplays. I had Spider-Man, which I don't really wear often, but like I had that, and then now it's like they're almost like what, at least 12 different outfits, babe, in the closet.
12, more like 25.
Yeah. Don't tell them about that. But no, I mean 12 is in like, yeah, there's interchangeable ones, right? There's some of them. Pikachu is the same thing as SpongeBob, which is even more funnier. It's the same exact outfit. It's just different aesthetics of it. But like, it just shows like once you start figuring out the passions and joys, you do invest in it, because you're just like, oh, this is something that really keeps refilling my cup. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I look forward to like certain cons when they're coming up. I'm like, okay, cool, I have this to prepare for or whatever. Right now, obviously, there's no cons going on, which is okay. This is downtime season. This is her season where she's excited that I'm able to be around, which is okay. Like, you know,
no, I tease. I fully support your passion, but I do want to jump in real quick, because we only have a couple minutes left, and I think this is important for the listening audience to hear. You know, you guys are investing in your joy, and that is super important. So Nana, he invests in going to the gym every day because that's important. He cares about his body. Nana invests in his ability to educate people on cars by watching car videos and getting information. And then he invests in his cosplay. He invests in his girlfriend by making time. So the reality is, for the listening audience, it's imperative that you realize that if it brings you joy, invest in it. If it brings you happiness, invest in it, because that investment, whether it's in learning something new or, to your point, Jesus, you didn't know the equipment you needed until you dived in and started to figure it out. When you do that, you're showing yourself that you're worthy of chasing whatever brings you joy. So it's super important.
Yes.
All right. With that, do you guys have any last, I don't know, words of wisdom or anything about joy that you want to share with the listening audience?
You want to go for Brody?
Yeah, I'll say a bit right now.
Okay.
So something I do say, I'd like to say this. If you feel like you want to do something and you can't figure it out and you think like, oh, I want to do this, or like, for example, for me, if I want to do voice acting, but I should go to college, I should go do something, flip a coin and then you'll realize what you want. Because because personally for me, I found this out to be true, because I mean, work for me. If you flip a coin, when the coin is in the air, before it falls down, you realize what you really want. It's like if you want, like say you wanted to buy a new console, like a new video game console, like, oh, do I want the Xbox or do I want the PS5? Let me flip a coin. If I start wanting more once the coin is in the air, then you realize that's what you want.
Oh shit.
I like that. Real quick, Walker_Dalton007. Thank you so much for watching. Please, next time, shout out throughout the broadcast. But I do love that. I love that philosophy. I think there are a lot of ways for people to figure out what they want to do, but that's a really great suggestion that I've never heard. So what about you, babe? Any final words of wisdom as we clock down?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is, like, you know, I mean, just keep aspiring to be positive, because like there are moments that will always try to like make you feel vulnerable and just down and stuff, and you know, things of that nature. But understand that you wake up the next morning and just get a reset. Like, perfect example this week was being on what I think it was Monday, and we're just shutting my phone off, got out of my system, reset, and then turn my phone back on. Obviously, this one up here, let it know what was. And so, like, sometimes it's just your bot. You just need the reset of life in general, because we're dealing with so much fighting silent battles and don't say anything about it. But like, you know, if you're going through stuff, make sure you reach out to people in your circle, because they care about you just as much as you think. Don't think. I say.
I love that so much. Shout out to Bonnie. Chase, follow your happiness. Stay less. Yes, queen. Thank you for being an avid watcher. We appreciate your love. And for Dalton and for all the people who joined, thank you. My words, or what's on my heart, is give yourself permission to play, whatever that looks like, because somehow I lost Nana. Okay, there we go. Hi, babes. Give yourself permission to play, because in whatever you do, whether it's painting with your niece and nephew, which I did this morning, whether it's, you know, me and Nana making funny videos, in giving permission to be silly, you do learn, to what Jesus was saying, what your purpose is and how you can chase that. So until next time, guys, Jesus, guys, make sure you follow
Thank you so much.
Information was on the banners. He's on Instagram. He has 2 different ones. And then until next time, we'll check you on the flip